A thunderbolt just struck Buckingham Palace, sending shockwaves that could rival any made-for-TV drama. What's emerged from behind those ancient walls isn't a rumor or a whisper, it's an alleged official demand for DNA tests on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children, Archie and Lilibet. Forget idle curiosity, this isn't about clearing up a trivial doubt. This is about settling a question most of the world assumed was long settled. Are these children truly their biological offspring? The very idea sounds outlandish, ripped straight from a wild conspiracy theory, but this isn't simply tabloid fodder circulating online. This demand is said to be coming directly from the highest echelons of the palace, triggered by chilling allegations that Meghan may have staged and fabricated her pregnancy with Archie, turning a personal journey into a public performance. If even a sliver of this is true, we're not talking about a minor indiscretion. This could unveil one of the most audacious public deceptions in the long, storied history of the British monarchy. But before we dive into the explosive implications, let's trace the unsettling path that led to this unprecedented demand. This fire didn't spark overnight. For years, subtle whispers followed Meghan Markle's first pregnancy, like shadows. Clinging to every public appearance, people quietly questioned the fluctuating shape of her baby bump, the surprising ease with which she navigated high heels deep into her third trimester, and photographs that showed her squatting in ways most heavily pregnant women simply couldn't. At the time, these murmurs were swiftly dismissed. The public was told to be respectful, to avoid insensitivity. Yet, the questions persisted, they didn't disappear. They merely grew louder, fueled by those fleeting, almost imperceptible moments captured by cameras. Now, fast forward to today, and those whispers have erupted into a full-blown roar of demand for definitive proof. A royal request for DNA verification isn't merely rare, it's practically unheard of. The royal family guards its privacy fiercely, never airing its internal conflicts like dirty laundry for the world to see. Something profound and deeply unsettling has clearly pushed the palace past its breaking point, forcing them to shatter generations of unspoken protocol. What exactly was the final straw? The trigger for this unprecedented demand wasn't a sudden, impulsive suspicion. It reportedly came from an exhaustive review of historical footage and detailed records. Think about it. Countless photos, hours of video, meticulously assembled timelines. Every single detail surrounding Meghan's first pregnancy was reportedly put under a microscopic lens. And what the palace allegedly found, or more accurately, what they didn't find, began to chip away at the official narrative. There were inconsistencies, perplexing gaps, and contradictory statements that simply didn't align. Things that, once examined closely, stopped making any sense at all. But here's where the situation spirals into even more intense territory. According to certain royal sources, there exists no official record of Meghan delivering Archie in any hospital under her name. No signed documentation from royal physicians. No public records that corroborate the claims made at the time. This absence is absolutely wild, especially considering how meticulously royal births are usually documented. Typically, we see photos, interviews, official statements from doctors. In this case, allegedly a vast, suspicious blank. Let's be crystal clear, using a surrogate is absolutely not the issue here. Millions of women globally choose this path for entirely legitimate personal, medical, or emotional reasons. The core problem, if these allegations are true, is the alleged cover-up, the supposed fabrication, the carefully constructed version of events that was sold to the public. Had a surrogate been used and Meghan and Harry been upfront about it, the conversation would be entirely different. But if they knowingly manufactured a narrative around a pregnancy that never occurred, building their entire public brand and identity on that supposed truth, then that isn't just misleading. It's manipulation on a global scale. This isn't merely about celebrities. These are individuals intrinsically linked to the very fabric of the British monarchy, a venerable institution that thrives on bloodline, legacy, and centuries of tradition. So when legitimate questions surface about the authenticity of that bloodline, it doesn't just ruffle feathers. It threatens to shake the entire foundation of the crown. The public, rightly so, is clamoring for answers. The palace, equally, demands certainty, and at this critical juncture, Meghan and Harry may no longer have the luxury of silence. The royal family has weathered countless storm scandals, divorces, even abdications. But this particular controversy cuts far deeper than usual. At its very heart, it's not just about Meghan or Harry, it's about what the crown fundamentally represents. The monarchy isn't built on fleeting popularity or a carefully curated modern image. It's built on heritage, unwavering bloodlines, and unquestionable legitimacy. This is precisely why this DNA request feels so different, so fundamentally significant. It's not just a personal matter. It's an institutional imperative, elevating it to a much, much bigger deal. King Charles, now firmly settled on the throne, has reportedly been working tirelessly behind the scenes to reshape the future of the monarchy. His focus is clear: to streamline the working royals, to enforce stricter protocols, and above all, to shield the crown from any further embarrassment. The very last thing he needs, especially in the early stages of his reign, is more chaos directly linked to his youngest son. But as the sensitive discussions around succession and official royal roles began, something else undeniably emerged: the pressing question of who exactly is in line for those vital roles. And it's here, at this precise moment, that things reportedly took a sharp, unsettling turn. Because if Archie and Lilibet are to be formally included in the future of the monarchy, the palace, by all accounts, wants to be absolutely, unequivocally certain they possess the legitimate right to be there. And that, insiders suggest, is the precise reason the palace initiated its painstaking review of the past. The pregnancy photos, the hospital reports, the entire public timeline of Meghan's journey as a mother, what they ultimately found, or, more accurately, what they conspicuously didn't find, is what has ignited this ferocious firestorm now. Missing hospital documents, no physician records. And most damning of all, reports of confidential documents reportedly obtained by royal advisors that strongly suggest Meghan might never have physically carried Archie at all. Instead of a clear, undeniable record confirming her delivery, insiders claim the palace found a gaping void. No hospital name, no official signed document from royal medical staff, not even a trace of the standard maternity procedures that accompany every royal birth. This is highly unusual for a family that meticulously documents absolutely everything, right down to the last public engagement. The sheer absence of this crucial proof is now being interpreted as something far more insidious than simple forgetfulness. It's being seen as a calculated, deliberate cover dash up. And the public, they are no longer holding back. Old clips have resurfaced online, showing videos of Meghan's baby bump looking noticeably different within a matter of days. Memes abound, featuring her gracefully squatting in high heels with a belly that seems to shift shape like a movie prop. People are now openly calling it out: bizarre, unnatural, and yes, fake. Social media platforms are having a field day, filled with relentless side-by-side comparisons, slow-motion footage, and commentary that's less about humor and more about forensic dissection. But what's dangerously getting lost in the viral noise is the sheer seriousness of what's being alleged. Because if this wasn't a genuine pregnancy, then we're not just talking about a simple deception, we're talking about a deliberate, calculated rebranding of a royal birth into an elaborate public narrative. A carefully crafted story of triumph, diversity, and the supposed breaking of old traditions, all potentially built upon what might have been a meticulously staged event. And, for a time, it undeniably worked. Meghan and Harry garnered global praise, secured lucrative speaking tour, clinched multi-million-dollar book deals, and landed massive Netflix specials. They successfully positioned themselves as the royal rebels everyone was eager to root for. But if that entire, meticulously constructed story was knowingly built on a foundation of lies, the entire narrative begins to rot at its very core. Prince Harry, for his part, is undeniably just as deeply implicated in this unfolding drama. He has consistently been the loudest and most vocal defender of their shared narrative, willingly cutting ties with his own family, publicly blasting the media and painting a vivid picture of a couple under relentless siege. But if he was fully aware of the truth and chose to go along with the alleged deception, the damage to his reputation might be beyond any hope of repair. This isn't merely a fleeting royal scandal anymore, it's a profound test of royal integrity, of deeply ingrained personal loyalty, and a crucial juncture where the palace might finally be forced to drag the truth into the harsh light of day, no matter how devastating the consequences. Pressure is now closing in from every conceivable direction. The palace, once renowned for its stoic silence and dignified composure, has reportedly dropped the gloves. Royal insiders, former staff members, and even commentators who previously tiptoed carefully around Harry and Meghan are now openly and unequivocally demanding clarity. The message is resounding. If these children are to play any part in the royal future, the truth, and nothing but the truth, needs to be officially on record. No more vague speculation, no more meticulously curated interviews, and definitely no more selective storytelling. One senior aide reportedly summarized the situation with brutal bluntness. They've had years to set the record straight. If they won't do it now, the institution will. That is the monumental stake here. It's not just about strained family ties, it's about the very integrity of the monarchy itself. The titles, the honors, the official roles, none of it can exist in a murky limbo, and certainly not under a dense cloud of alleged deception. For an institution that has miraculously survived devastating wars, scandalous abdications, and tumultuous divorces, this present moment might prove to be one of its most awkward, precisely because it's not confronting an external threat, but a profound mess allegedly created from within. And here lies the ultimate catch. Meghan and Harry's strategic silence is no longer working. What was once meticulously interpreted as dignified privacy is now being widely seen as calculated avoidance. Every single day they refuse to directly address this bombshell DNA request, public doubt intensifies, growing exponentially to a rapidly increasing number of people. A refusal to comply is no longer simply a personal choice. It's widely interpreted as an answer in itself. And if they do, by some chance, comply, the results, whatever they may reveal, will carry enormous, far-reaching consequences. If the DNA tests conclusively confirm Harry as the biological father, it won't instantly erase the deeply damaging deception allegations, but it might, crucially, take some of the intense heat off the children. It could, perhaps, re-establish a sliver of legitimacy in the eyes of the palace. But if the tests suggest otherwise, if there's even the slightest hint of contradiction, then this isn't just another scandal. It becomes a full-blown crisis of royal identity, a constitutional nightmare that absolutely no one is prepared to clean up. Behind firmly closed palace doors, Prince William is reportedly absolutely livid. He is said to be furious at the profound damage being inflicted upon his family's image and, more importantly, its enduring legacy. Princess Anne, ever the no-nonsense royal, is rumored to have called the entire situation a disgrace, and King Charles himself, the word is he is utterly devastated. This was never how he envisioned his reign beginning. He's reportedly caught in an agonizing bind between his profound love for his son and his sacred duty to the crown. But more than that, he intimately understands just how fragile public trust is right now, and he simply cannot afford to lose it over unverified bloodlines and meticulously crafted Netflix narratives. The most heartbreaking, tragic part of this entire saga is that it never had to reach this point. If Meghan had only chosen honesty, if the initial story had been framed around strength, personal choice, or even genuine medical complications, the public, in all likelihood, would have rallied by her side. People are far more understanding and compassionate than they are often given credit for. But by allegedly transforming a deeply private journey into a highly polished fairy tale, and then potentially faking critical parts of it for public consumption, The fierce backlash has become utterly inevitable. Now, the royal institution is drawing its definitive line in the sand. The message, though harsh and cold, is crystal clear. No DNA, no titles, no proof, no legitimate place in the royal fold. In the unyielding eyes of the monarchy, it is a necessary, albeit brutal, step, because the enduring future of the crown, its very survival, simply cannot rest on blurred truths and sentimental, manufactured public relations. The world is watching, holding its breath. Whatever Meghan and Harry choose to do next, whether they reluctantly submit to the test, defiantly deny it outright, or attempt to spin the narrative once again, will irrevocably shape how they are remembered forever as victims of an unjust royal system, or as the very architects of their own spectacular downfall. The answer, in the end, might come down to just one swab, one simple test, and a truth that can no longer be hidden behind ancient palace gates.